Hello, happy full moon in Pisces. So we are here this evening to do our energy read for the next couple of weeks. Obviously we're now in Mercury in retrograde as well, so we will see how that informs on what cards are coming up for us. So we're going to be using the Universal Weight deck, and I also thought it would be fun to throw in some goddess oracle cards as well. So let's get started. I will obviously timestamp below all of the signs. So let's begin with Aries. Hello to Aries, I hope that you are all well, happy full moon. So we're going to be having a look now at what cards are coming up for you. So we have got, let's pick our three. So we have got the Page of Pentacles, we've got the Seven of Wands, and we've also got the Ten of Cups. Okay, so when we're going through these cards, what we can see is that we have a really exciting fresh start when it comes to a financial project. So this could either be something business related, or it could be something physical. So it could be like a move, a home move, something like that. But the Page of Pentacles is definitely indicating that there is going to be some kind of upheaval coming up, but it's going to be fresh and new and exciting to do with something material in our lives. And when we're thinking about the full moon in Pisces, we've obviously got that dreamy creative energy coming through, but then we are of course still in Virgo season, which encourages us to be a bit more earthy, a bit more grounded, and also to be a bit more organised as well. And we want to keep that in mind with the Page of Pentacles. So although we've got something exciting coming up with finances, we want to make sure that we are planning for that. So if it is something like a house move, we want to make sure that we know we've got all the paperwork sorted, everything is in order as it should be. If we are maybe starting a new budget, or if we're maybe even looking to change careers or advance in our career, we kind of want to be looking at what steps we need to make in order to get there. And then with the Seven of Wands, we acknowledge that there may be some degree of conflict. This could be externally to us, so maybe there are people who are resisting this new change for us, which often does happen. There will always be naysayers when you are going through a period of change, but it can also be that internal resistance that we feel within ourselves as well. I often find with the wands that there's that indication that we are sometimes holding ourselves back and being our own worst enemy. So although we've got this exciting new start, financial start, we also want to acknowledge that there may be a bit of conflict or a bit of resistance coming through as well. But that ultimately, the Ten of Cups has come up as well. So we know that there is going to be a beautiful ending on the horizon, that we're finding that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And the Ten of Cups is closely associated with family, so there is a harmonious bond with family, but it can also be chosen family as well. So friends, loved ones, the people that we have in our lives are all going to be doing well over the next couple of weeks, which is always lovely and reassuring to know, and that the people that really love us and really care about us are going to be able to support us in our time of change, and also through any time of conflict as well. So let's see what goddess oracle card we have coming up for Aries. Let's see. So we have got, we've got Nyx coming up. So Nyx is obviously a night goddess card, and this is really encouraging us to dig deeper into the shadow side of ourselves. So maybe this month, this 2 weeks rather, between the full moon and then the new moon in Libra, we want to be thinking about what are those qualities in ourselves that are maybe holding us back. And this is aligning quite well with the Seven of Wands. We want to be thinking, okay, well, I've got a lot of exciting things happening, some change, money coming in, abundance is being called into my life, but how am I showing up for myself in receiving that? And make sure that we are doing our shadow work in order that we can show up in the best possible way for the other people in our lives, as well as, of course, for ourselves, which is obviously really important, because if we're going to be starting afresh with a new project, and especially something material, we really want to make sure that we are filling our own cup first, so that we've got that sustenance in order to move forward over the next couple of weeks. So these are your cards for Aries: Page of Pentacles, Seven of Wands, Ten of Cups, and the goddess Nyx. Hello to Taurus, so let's crack on with your 3-card read, see what cards are coming out. Some cards are jumping out already, I can see that one is pushing out. Let's have have a look, see what else is coming through. So you've got this one, and then let's feel what one's come out. Yep, we've got this one as well. So we have got Strength in the reverse, we have got the Lovers, and then we have also got the Hermit. Oh wow, so we've got a full major arcana spread. These are quite rare. So what we're seeing here is that we are being called to have a period of introspection over the next couple of weeks. And obviously the full moon that we're in at the moment, the Pisces full moon, it does have that dreamy, more introverted energy, but we're still in Virgo season, so we want to be conscious of how we are connecting to ourselves on a more corporal level as well, and how we're showing up for others. But it looks like over the next couple of weeks you're really being called to take a step back and maybe have a period on your own. It doesn't necessarily have to be for a particularly extended time period, but just to really kind of think about, actually, where am I at the moment, and what is it that I really want. And when the Hermit comes up, it also kind of gives us that little nudge that maybe there is someone else in our lives at the moment who could perhaps offer us some advice or some guidance. So I would encourage you to be on the lookout to see if there is someone who could perhaps help you in this period of kind of unpicking and thinking what it is you want for the next couple of weeks, and how you kind of want to move forward in this last few months of 2022. And then we have the Lovers coming up, which is obviously a very positive card when it comes to relationships, obviously romantic relationships, but not just romantic. It also is a very encouraging sign that you are making great connections in your life. Perhaps over these next couple of weeks you might actually meet someone new, make a new connection. If you're dating, obviously this could be a positive sign towards something romantic. But even in a friendship sense or a business sense, it could be that you're about to meet someone new who is really going to switch things up in a really positive and exciting way. And then when we have Strength in the reverse, this is reminding us that we need to make sure that we are staying connected to our centre and to ourselves. So we have all that power within us, all that sort of lovely fieriness, but we want to make sure that we are tempering it and using it in the right way, that we are not disconnecting from ourselves in order to people please for other people. But I do get the sense that you are not doing that, and that you appreciate and understand that actually you need to take a bit of time away, and that you are focused on the relationships in your life, strengthening the ones that are already existing, whilst at the same time being on the lookout and being open to new relationships as well. So now let's see what Goddess Oracle card we have coming up for Taurus. Let's have a look. Okay, let's see who is showing up. So we have got Hecate. Okay, so Hecate is obviously very associated with witchcraft, with crossroads, with that idea of the three moon goddesses, so maiden, mother and crone as well. So this is really encouraging us to celebrate wherever we are in our life cycle at the moment. Sometimes in life we can feel that pressure to really push through and rush and get to that next bit, that next moment, that next big thing, but actually we forget that we are in the period of our life that we've wanted to be in for such a long time, and we need to kind of have a bit more presence. And Hecate is also reminding us to be really aware of choices, which feeds back really nicely into the card of the Lovers, that we want to be really aware of who we're connecting with and how these relationships are informing our lives over the next couple of weeks. There is a lot of positive energy around this, but with Hecate coming up as our Goddess Oracle card, we just want to be a little bit aware of who we're letting into our lives and having that kind of boundary control on point as well, which I think we definitely are doing with the Hermit coming up, and also with Strength in the reverse. We're really having a period of connecting back to ourselves without cutting ourselves off from other people. Okay, so that is our full moon reading in Pisces for Taurus. Hello to Gemini and happy full moon in Pisces. We're now going to do your 3-card pull. So let's see what cards are coming up. Okay, so we are going to go with 1, 2, 3. So let's see what we have. Okay, so we have got the King of Cups, we have got the 6 of Pentacles, and we have got the Empress. Okay, so let's unpack this a little bit. So at the moment we are feeling very connected to ourselves on an emotional level. We are feeling very tuned in to how we are feeling intuitively, and we are making really strong positive choices when it comes to listening to ourselves, which is great, especially in the full moon of Pisces, because we're obviously really aligning with that watery energy where we feel like we can be mutable and we can maybe go with the flow a little bit, because we are trusting deeply within ourselves that whatever path we take, we will end up at the correct destination, which is a really lovely and aligned way of being. And then when we come to the Six of Pentacles, we're in a very generous position, so we're able to not only call in abundance because we are fully aligned and we are manifesting in the right way, but we are also able to share this with other people. So if you aren't already, the next couple of weeks are kind of encouraging you to look around in your life. It may be other people, or it may be even just be in your community, asking you to see how maybe you can show up a bit more for other people. Is there a way that you could maybe volunteer? It doesn't necessarily have to be money, it could be just you, yourself, your time. If there is anything else that you could be doing in order to share that abundance that you are receiving with other people in your life as well, both sort of in a more sort of literal sense, so your own family, friends, whatever, or in a wider sense with your community as well. Because with Virgo, we're always feeling, so we're still in Virgo season, family minded, but we're also looking outwards as well to see how we can align with ourselves and then help others as an extension of that as well. And then finally, we've got the Empress coming up, and the Empress obviously has that lovely earthy energy. We can see our little Venus symbol here, full of the ultimate maternal feminine energy. And of course, with tarot, energies are accessible to us no matter our gender or binary, that does not matter. But however we are identifying, we are feeling that really strong, lovely maternal feminine energy. So the overall feeling of this spread is over the next couple of weeks that we are feeling that lovely centered feeling where we know that we are in the right place that we should be, that we have gone through maybe some ups and downs, but we are now really aligning with the life that we have chose, and we are in a position to actually start extending that out to other people and start to help others as well, which is obviously a beautiful way to be. And then if we look at our Goddess Oracle card, see what is coming up for Gemini. So we will go with this one. Oh, we have Aphrodite. Aphrodite, of course, is the goddess of love, which really feeds in nicely with, well, with all three of the cards from this spread actually, but obviously particularly the Empress. These two are so aligned together, that same beautiful feminine energy where we're really feeling ourselves in the most positive way possible, and that we really want to extend that maternal energy out to others. So these next couple of weeks, that's what I would really encourage you to think about doing, or certainly that is what the cards that we have pulled are encouraging. So these are your cards for Gemini. Happy full moon, and I will see you on the new moon. Hello to Cancer, it's now time to do your full moon reading for the full moon in Pisces, and we are of course still in Virgo season, so we've got these two signs that sit at opposites to each other, feeding in and informing our decision making at the moment. So let's see what cards are coming up for us now. So we have got the Three of Wands in the reverse, we've got the Wheel of Fortune, and then we've also got Justice. Okay, so let's have a little look at what is coming through. So when we've got the Three of Wands in the reverse, this is indicating that perhaps we have a business idea, or maybe we're feeling a bit more entrepreneurial, or perhaps there is a travel idea that we want to kind of take advantage of, or even moving, but we're just not quite sure how to get started. So we've got that creative spark, that creative idea, but then we're kind of sort of a bit stuck. We're not quite sure what the next step should be or exactly how we're going to get there. So we're almost feeling that sensation of being blocked. And it could be because of a physical reason, so maybe there is a financial implication that we want to move, we want to travel, but we haven't quite got the money to back that up yet. Or it could be that we've got an idea, a spark, that creative spark, but we're not quite sure how to translate what's in our mind onto something more physical. But then we've got the Wheel of Fortune coming in, which helps to remind us that no matter what period we're in our lives at the moment, that whether it's good or bad, that everything turns round, and so we should really try and be present. So if we're feeling a bit blocked, we want to be present with where we are at the moment and use that as a catalyst to think, okay, well, I've got a goal that I want to achieve. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get there yet, but I know that if I just keep going and just stay focused, that answer will make itself known to me, and in that sort of collaborative process with the universe. And then when we have justice coming up, this is reminding us that things are going to move forward in a more balanced way, that we are doing things in the right way. So even if we're feeling that little bit of a pause, a bit of a delay, we know that ultimately we are going to be able to stand in our power and find a positive solution to whatever it is we're looking to change or move forward with at the moment. And I think that can be quite reassuring, because often when we're trying to start out on a new venture, there's a lot of anxiety involved. It's excitement, but it's also anxious energy as well. And it's good to know that you know, the universe has our back, and this is something that tarot is so lovely for. It can kind of give us that little reassurance and help the little voice that lives inside of all of us to kind of speak a little louder and reassure us that things will be going positively as we move forward. We're now going to look for our Goddess Oracle card and see what is coming up for Cancer. So let's have a look. And we have got Circe. So Circe is obviously a goddess of transformation. In the Odyssey, she transforms Odysseus's men into pigs. How lovely. But she is really reminding us that we do have that the answers inside ourselves. Her card says, trust yourself, you have all the answers. And that is very true. And on a full moon in Pisces, we're really feeling that sense that we want to connect to our own personal intuition. We're really feeling supported in that. And then Virgo energy is reminding us that if we just put those plans in place and get ourselves organised, we will end up at the right place at the right time where we are supposed to be. So these are your cards for the full moon in Pisces for Cancer. I will see you next time on the new moon. Hello to all my Leos. It is now time to do your 3-card energy read for the full moon in Pisces in Virgo season. So let's see what is going to be coming up for us. Let's have a look. Okay, so we've got this card jumping up already. And then let's see, we'll go here and we're calling here. Okay, so the first card we have is the 3 of Pentacles. We have then got the Chariot and then the 4 of Cups. So let's have a little bit of a closer look. So we've got the 3 of Pentacles. This is indicating that we are needing to collaborate more in our lives. So this could be on a professional level, but it could also be personal as well. So maybe there is something at work, a project that we've been working on, and it's not really moving forward in the way that we would like. We're not experiencing the success with it that we would like. And the 3 of Pentacles is really indicating that we need to reach out to other people around us and not necessarily ask for help, but definitely ask for opinions, because sometimes someone else can look at something with fresh eyes and see it in a whole different way, and it can really revolutionize things going forward. And the same with a relationship. So obviously we can't exist in a relationship on our own, but sometimes it can be difficult to want to really talk to someone or connect with someone if we've been feeling quite isolated, or if it's something that we are maybe embarrassed about or that we don't quite know how to approach. But the 3 of Pentacles is definitely calling us to collaborate in our life in some way. And then we have the Chariot coming up, and the Chariot of course indicates that there is going to be some period of movement. So this could be physical, it could also be on a more spiritual level as well. So we are looking to other people around us to inform on our choices over the next couple of weeks. And this may then lead to a period of transition of maybe moving away. So maybe moving away from a relationship, from a job, or it may be that we are leveling up within ourselves. So we're going to be looking for those people around us that can really help us to grow and move forward, and that's going to help us to level up and move forward ourselves in our life. And with the 4 of Cups coming in, what we really want to be aware of is that as we're going through these periods, these transitional periods, that we don't want to be so focused on where we're going that we don't take time to sit back and realise, actually I have a lot of what I want, what I called into my life already. I just haven't really taken note of it. And I think that's a really common thing that a lot of us do. We can be so focused laser focused going forward, that we actually forget to see all of the abundance that we've already called into our lives and all of the things that we already have that maybe we've wanted or worked hard for, but we're so focused on continually progressing and moving forward and what's the next thing, and that sort of hustle culture, that we forget to see actually we've got a lot of things around us that we have already been looking for. And especially with these two cards coming in together, maybe it's the other people in our life that can help us to see what it is that we already have, and to be grateful for that as we then move forward and progress over these next couple of weeks. So there will definitely be some degree of transition. You may be going away, it may be as simple as that, or it may be that you are moving forward in a job or in a relationship, that things are going to ascend for you positively in some way. And then if we look at our Goddess Oracle card, which one we're going to have? Ooh, and we've got Persephone. Now Persephone is all about that period of going away and then return. And if we think about the myth of Persephone, so she would go into the underworld during autumn and spring, and then come back, autumn and winter, sorry, and then come back for spring and summer with her mother Demeter. And when Persephone comes up, it says, "Change is inevitable, growth is an important part of life, I awaken my soul and I grow into the person I want to be." And that's exactly what all of these cards are encouraging us to do, that in order to grow, we need to be open to change and to periods of moving forward. And what we are also being called to do is to make sure that there are others involved in that decision making in order to have the best result. So these are your cards for the full moon in Pisces. I will see you again next time for the new moon in Libra. Hello and happy full moon in Pisces to all the Virgos out there. This is of course a Virgo season, so happy Virgo season to you as well. Let's see what 3 cards are coming up for our full moon reading. Okay, so we're going to go with this one coming out, these two come out together, and this one. Okay, so we have got the World in the reverse, we've got the Page of Cups, and we've also got the 7 of Swords. Sorry, just having a senior moment there. So let's unpack these cards a little bit and see what is going to be coming up for us over the next couple of weeks. So when we have the World in the reverse, we have the idea that we are feeling disconnection from our own personal destiny. So maybe we kind of know what we're being called to do, but for some reason we're feeling a degree of resistance towards it. So maybe that may be that we feel that it's something that we want to do, but we are a little bit afraid, which is totally common and normal. When we're making big decisions in any area of our life, we can feel that that element of resistance, but the World is really encouraging you to take your place and to step up. Obviously coming up in the reverse is that kind of blocked feeling and that fear, but this card is really encouraging you to take a step forward and realise that you are valid and that you need to show up as your authentic self in order to receive the full abundance that the universe has in store for you. And when we come to the Page of Cups, this is a card that is reminding us that we need to listen to that little voice inside ourselves, that little intuitive voice, like the fish in the cup, that tells us you know, what we really feel and what we really want to be doing. And we often have those 2 voices in our heads that kind of contradict one another, the self-saboteur and then also our personal intuition as well. And the Page of Cups is really calling you to think about your own personal intuition, to let that guide you forward and not let it throw you off your path, you know. Especially if you're already feeling a little bit anxious about a change or about taking your place and stepping up, you really want to make sure that you are listening to that positive internal voice that is saying, you've got this, you can do it, you can go for it. And then when we have the 7 of Swords coming up, we want to be a little bit aware that maybe there could be some resistance coming in from other people as well. And it is an unfortunate part of life that sometimes people can be a bit deceptive, talk behind our backs, which is never very nice. But the 7 of Swords is also reminding us not to do that to ourselves. So we kind of have these 2 competing energies here of our positive intuition and then that negative voice that's kind of trying to be a bit deceptive and trying to push us out from taking our place and doing what we really need to do over these next couple of weeks. But what this spread is really encouraging you to do is to step up, take that decision, take that job, make that change, start that relationship, maybe leave a relationship, and really take your place in the world. Don't be afraid, listen to the positive voice and not the negative. And we're now going to see what Goddess card we have coming up. So we have got Demeter, and Demeter is the goddess of the harvest, which is obviously very aligned with Virgo energy, and she says, bloom and blossom, a time to reap your rewards, all your hard work is paying off. And that is really what these cards are trying to highlight as well. You know, you've worked hard, your hard work is paying off, so don't be afraid to step up, listen to that positive voice, and do not pay any heed, any mind to any negativity that is coming up, because you have got this. Okay, so these are our cards for Virgo. Happy full moon, and I will see you next on the new moon. Hello to all the Libras out there. It is now time to do your full moon reading, full moon in Pisces, of course. So let's see what 3 cards we have coming up. Okay, so we've got this one poking, and then these 2 as well. Okay, let's see what we've got. So we have got the King of Swords in the reverse, we have got the 5 of Cups, and then we've also got the Magician. Okay, so when we're thinking of the King of Swords in the blocked position, we're really feeling that energy of not communicating. So there may be something going on in our life at the moment, something that we want to express. It could be about ourselves as an individual, to do with our own personal authenticity, or it could be about a specific situation that is going on, and we're really struggling to connect with the people involved and to communicate. And maybe we're going through a bit of a period of sadness or feeling low about it, because we are really feeling that sense of being blocked, that maybe it's that we physically can't speak about it, or maybe someone else doesn't want us to speak about it, and we really feel that this situation is coming up and blocking us from being able to go through these next couple of weeks in a happy and positive way. And what the cards are encouraging is for you to tap into your own personal magic and know that whatever is waiting for you on the other side of the situation, that you need to engage and speak about it, because by not speaking and not letting something out, you are letting that trauma live in your body and fester and create more problems further down the line. The best thing you can do is to just release it and let it go. And even when we have this energy coming through of maybe a bit of grief, of sadness, we want to see that although the 3 cups here have been knocked over, we've still got these 2 which are full. We can see this bridge leading to a beautiful house in the distance. So at the end of all periods of sadness and grief, there is always something positive to be had. Even in the worst situations, we can always find some degree of blessing, but it just takes a bit of time for us to find that magic inside ourselves, where we can really have the courage to look for it. But what these cards are strongly saying is that there is a period of time coming up over the next couple of weeks where you really need to gauge in your communication style, how you are communicating, and making sure that you are expressing yourself fully, because otherwise you will get kind of trapped into this period of darkness, which you do not want to stay in, because there is so much positive, so many good things waiting for you on the other side, but you need to kind of figure out how to transmute that darkness and that negativity into something wonderful, and you have all the tools to be able to do it, but you just need to dig a little deeper and find it in yourself, and trust yourself as well, that you can move forward from a more negative period. And then let's see what goddess card we have coming up from our goddess oracle. We have Amphitrite. I'm never sure if I'm saying that correctly. Now, she is a sea goddess, and she is really all about going with the flow. So on her card it says, a time for going with the flow. What will be will be. Do not focus on what you cannot control. And that feeds again into this this idea here that, you know, if there is a period of communication that is being blocked, it's that idea that maybe we can't speak, or someone else doesn't want us to speak, but that is not on us. You know, every problem is not for us to fix. If we are in a period of darkness and sadness, that will come to an end, that we will be able to move ourselves out of it, but we just need to love ourselves, trust ourselves, and know that we've got all these tools inside of us to really push us through to the other side. But of course, having this goddess card come up with the full moon in Pisces, we really want to, it can be hard sometimes to let go of that feeling of control, but we really want to try and do that as best we can, so that we can really trust ourselves and go with the flow, and know that the next step in life that is happening for us. It's not happening to us, it's happening for us, for the better. So these are our cards for the full moon in Pisces. I will see you next time for the new moon in Libra. Hello and welcome to Scorpio. So let's see what your 3 cards are for this full moon. Let's have a look. Okay, so we've got these 3 coming through. So we have got the 3 of Cups, we have got the Ace of Swords in the reverse, and then we have also got the 5 of Swords in the reverse. So when we look at this card, what we're seeing is we've been enjoying a period of socialising, of making friends, maybe of making new friends, but we've been in a really positive period of abundance and flourishing, especially when it comes to a more social level, which is great, obviously, especially following on from the pandemic when we've been really disconnected from other people. It's great to then have positive people come into our lives and really enjoy that period of connection and celebration. But the cards are also calling us to maybe be a little bit warier over the next couple of weeks, that maybe we are starting to feel a bit of a headache because of some of these social interactions, maybe not in a literal sense, but perhaps we've been socialising a bit too much and it's now actually taking us away from other projects and other things that we need to be putting our focus to. And especially when we have the 5 of Swords coming up in the reverse, it indicates that maybe there has been a period of deception going on, and that now we kind of want to be a bit more on our guard with who we're surrounding ourselves with. So while we have been enjoying a strong period of socialising and getting to know new people, we kind of also want to be aware of who we're letting into our lives, because sometimes it can be very tempting when we meet new people to kind of throw ourselves in, and perhaps not very natural for a traditional Scorpio. Scorpios are very good at kind of keeping a bit back, a bit hidden, but in general these cards are encouraging you to amplify that energy, but in a positive way. So you're not cutting yourself off from other people, you are still engaging with new people, but you just want to be a bit wary that some new people that are coming into your life may not have the same level of intention that you do. So they may want something from you that you are not prepared to give or not able to give, or they may be actually blocking you from moving forward from your purpose and what you're supposed to be doing. So it may be coming through as a bit of a distraction, which can be nice sometimes, but is not something that we really want to be manifesting into on a consistent basis, really. So we want to just be a bit wary of the people that we are surrounding ourselves with. And then if we choose our Goddess Oracle card, who do we have? Okay, so we have Hera coming up, and she says, "Let go of yesterday and move into a new cycle. I embrace my new beginnings and I embrace my new opportunities." Now, Hera as a goddess traditionally is really associated with women, with mothers, with marriage, with all those traditional sided roles for women. And it doesn't necessarily mean that this energy is exclusively for women or those who identify as women, but it's that idea of connections. You know, we need to be looking at the connections that are coming through in our lives, and who are we allowing into our lives, and for how long and for what purpose, because it can sometimes be that friendships are there to teach us a lesson, that maybe someone has come into our life and we're supposed to learn something from that connection, but they're not supposed to stay around forever, which can be quite difficult to move through as a process. But once we understand it, it can really help us to acknowledge those beginning and endings of friendships and relationships in a more positive way. So these are our cards for Scorpio for the full moon in Pisces. I will see you next for the new moon in Libra. Hello and happy full moon to all my Sagittarians out there. Let's see what 3 cards are coming up for you for this full moon. Okay, let's see. So we have got, we'll go with this one here, this one is calling to me here, and then this little one under here. Okay, so let's see what we've got. So we've got the Hanged Man, we've got the Knight of Cups, and then we've also got the King of Pentacles. Okay, this is interesting. So at the moment you may be feeling that you're going through some degree of spiritual awakening, and I think with the full moon in Pisces, this really has that kind of amplified energy where we're all feeling maybe a bit more wanting to connect to the more spiritual side of ourselves, but it's really intensified to the max. So maybe you have not really been connecting with spiritual things, or you've maybe kind of dipped your toe in and out and you're kind of now trying to find what works for you, what doesn't. Maybe you're picking up a divination practice like tarot, or you're just trying to live your life in a more aligned way with the world around you. So just being more aware of the cycles of life, of seasons, of the lunar cycle, and just kind of feeding into that a bit more in order to have a better alignment in your life going forward. And then when we have the King of Cups, we're moving forward with that. So maybe we're actively trying to tell other people about it. Maybe we are going on some kind of retreat, like a yoga retreat or something, where we're trying to really align with ourselves. So we want to become more spiritually involved. We want to take more time to have a bit of self-care, and we're actively trying to find new ways in order to incorporate that into our lives. And obviously the full moon is a great time to do that anyway, but especially a full moon in Pisces. And then when we have the King of Pentacles coming through at the end, this is really a lovely and encouraging card that we are in a period in our lives of stability, particularly when it comes to material and financial stability. So that doesn't necessarily mean that you are incredibly wealthy, but it means that you are managing your money well. So you've got that abundance coming in, a steady income, or if you're freelancing, you've kind of figured out the peaks and troughs and you're doing well, you are feeling comfortable. And that you also know how to show up for yourself in that level of abundance, and also for the people around you as well. So you feel that you're able to use that level of financial security in order to help you to show up better for other people in your life as well. You're not just kind of keeping all that wealth back for yourself. You're actively trying to use it to be a better person and to be a better member in your community as well. But overall, these three cards have such a lovely positive energy for the next couple of weeks, and that we're really moving forward with that idea that we're connecting on a more intuitive level to ourselves, and we're finding new ways to honour ourselves and to bring in that sense of self-care as well. And when the Knight of Cups comes up, we always want to be aware, well, with any night coming up, that there may be a period of movement. So as well as looking for new ways to explore your own intuitive capacities, it may also mean that you have a period of news coming soon as well. So over these next couple of weeks, just kind of be aware that some messages may be coming through. These may be intuitive messages or in dreams, so you just kind of want to be a little bit tuned in, a little bit extra to hear the messages that the universe is trying to tell you. And then if we see what goddess we have in our oracle card, we have Hemera, and she says, "Let the warmth wash over you, a new dawn breaks. It's time to raise your vibration and leave the dark behind." Now, Hemera, if I've got my mythology correct, was the daughter of Nyx, I believe, who's the goddess of the night. So it's that idea that we are moving away from a darker time into something lighter. And these cards really do have that lovely light energy, where we're moving away from perhaps something that was a little bit more difficult, and it's allowed us to tap into a greater spiritual sense, that we're going down a more spiritually aligned path. We're leaving behind any negative traits, negative activities. We've already gone a bit deeper into our shadow selves, our shadow side, and we are now ready to step into the light and move forward in a more prosperous and abundant way. Okay, so these are our cards for Sagittarius for the full moon in Pisces. I will see you next time for the new moon in Libra. Hello to all my Capricorns. We are now going to do your 3-card read for the full moon in Pisces, of course still in Virgo season, so we've got that lovely earthy energy mixing with water coming through for us now. So let's see what cards we have coming up. Okay, and this one is coming through as well. So we have got the 10 of Wands, we have got the 3 of Cups, and we've also got the 4 of Swords. So when we read these cards together, we can see that obviously with the 10 of Wands, that we have come to the end of a very trying or difficult time. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that we have been through something really horrible or really hard or a terrible hardship. It doesn't necessarily indicate that. It could be more that we have had a big project on, or maybe we've had to organise a big family trip or something of that nature, and we've really had to push through and work hard and get to that end point. And now we are coming through over the next couple of weeks into a period of joy, of greater peace and of relaxation and rest as well. But we have really endured that difficulty, that hardship. Maybe there were times where we felt like, actually, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to take a step back. I want to give up. But we did not, and we have persevered. And over the next couple of weeks, we may see that kind of ending, that completion of that project. It could obviously be a work project, or it could be planning something big in terms of friends or family. But over the next couple of weeks, we will see that period of time come to a close, and then we will move on to this next energy coming through with the Three of Cups, where we'll really be able to enjoy and celebrate that time. So especially if it was planning like a social occasion or a wedding or something like that, we are now going to be able to enjoy the fruits of our labours and connect with other people in a really joyous and productive way. And this card indicates that lovely sort of total abandonment and that joy that we find when we're with people that really align with us and our values. So it could be friends, it could be family, it could be anyone really that we are now meeting and calling into our lives to create this lovely, joyful period. And then when we have the Four of Swords finishing up, this is indicating that we will then have a period of rest, of come down. So these cards to me are indicating for the next couple of weeks we'll feel that sensation of kind of going like this, a bit of a little roller coaster. So we're pushing through, we're enjoying the celebration at the top, and then we're having a little bit of a come down and a little bit of a rest. But this is obviously three really nice positive cards coming through. And when we're taking that break, I think for a lot of us, having a break or saying no to something can feel very challenging, and we can feel a certain degree of resistance with that. But the Four of Swords are encouraging you to take that as necessary. You know, you don't have to go through something difficult in order to then earn a rest period. And equally, after a joyous celebration, you don't have to feel guilt about taking a step back and having a rest and a relax as well. It is really important for us all to have these periods of rest. And then if we see what our goddess oracle card is that we have coming up, we have Selene. Now Selene is the moon goddess, and she says, remove negative illusions. You are so much more than you realise. Be kind to yourself and look within, nourish your soul. There we go, my apology for my poor reading there. But this goddess card is really encouraging us to dig into that softer side of darkness, that comforting side, which we're definitely feeling here with the Four of Swords, and to know that even if something challenging or trying has happened, that we can dig deep into that deep sensation of being held by the darkness, by the night, in that comfortable way, to be guided by the light of the moon on the full moon, and know that we have this beautiful period of rest coming in for us, as well as some exciting things as well over the next couple of weeks. So these are our cards for Capricorn, and I will see you next time for the new moon in Libra. Hello to my Aquarians, so let's see what three cards we have coming through for you for the full moon in Pisces in Virgo season. Okay, so we've got one popping out here, and then let's see what other ones we have coming through. Okay, so we have got the Ace of Cups, we have got the Six of Wands, and then our last card, we have the Ace of Swords. Okay. So when we look at these cards, what we're really seeing is that we have been in a period of emotional overflow and release. And that can sometimes feel a little bit scary and a little bit uncomfortable, but congratulations if you've been able to let go of those emotions, because it is really easy to bottle things up inside and to feel like we are stuck, and that if we let go and we release all those trapped emotions, that we will lose in some way control over ourselves or over a situation, and that will make us feel even worse. But it of course will not, and we need to make sure that we are really moving forward in a positive way by letting go of all that negative, stale energy and really releasing it. And obviously I think a lot of us grow up being told that we shouldn't cry, not necessarily in a negative way, but parents say, oh no, don't cry, it's okay. But actually crying and releasing and that sort of thing is very positive and very nourishing for our bodies. And on a full moon, the perfect time to have that let down and have that release. But the Ace of Cups is very positive as well, and it's showing that we can see the 5 water streams coming out, connecting us to all the 5 seas, that we are very connected, not just with our own emotional centre, but also with other people as well. So we're intuitively feeling into those around us. So we're really feeling a sense of harmony in our lives over the next couple of weeks. And we're also feeling a degree of success as well. So when we have the 6 of Wands coming in, over the next couple of weeks, we want to be taking note of the fact that we have dug deep, we have done this hard work, and we're now seeing the fruits of those labours come to fruition. So we are enjoying a degree of success. Now this, of course, is most closely associated with something to do with our career, but it can also be family and friends as well. So maybe there's been a period where things were a bit difficult, a bit fraught, but we're now coming into that period of being able to celebrate and have things come more onto a bit of an equilibrium again. And we have 2 aces coming up in these cards, so we're really feeling that sense of being in our own power very strongly over the next couple of weeks. So we've really laid some good foundations for ourselves, which is great. And when we have the Ace of Swords coming through, it's that idea that we are really thinking now of new ideas, but also our way of communicating. So we've had a period of emotional release. It has allowed us to embrace success in our life better, and now we are really embracing a different way of communicating. So that could be something that we are actively trying to do, so we are trying to communicate more with the people around us, or it could also be upgrading our communication style. So maybe we've been trying to make our needs known in one way, and we've realised that actually that's not really working. We're kind of feeling a sense of a block. So now we're upgrading the way that we show up for ourselves in order that we can then connect better with other people. And that's that energy that's really coming through strongly with 2 aces, is that we are really at the forefront over these next couple of weeks. And Aquarius is obviously an energy that always connects us to the wider collective anyway. But we are really showing up, so you're kind of having a bit of a spotlight on you this next couple of weeks, and it could either be in a business sense in work, but it could also be in relationships and in family situations as well, that you are really connecting with people, you are communicating well, and you are feeling that active feedback of success coming through. And then when we look at our goddess card, we have Gaia. Now Gaia is obviously the eternal symbol of Mother Earth coming through, which is very in line with Aquarians. And when we read her card, she says, honour Mother Earth, protect her. When you honour the earth, you honour yourself. And that's what these 3 cards are really trying to say to us as well, that we are honouring ourselves, both from an emotional point of being in our body, but also from a mental perspective as well, and how we are interacting with those that are around us. And we are really allowing ourselves to feel this success, because sometimes when we win at something or do well at something, there's still that little voice that maybe speaks to us and says that we don't really deserve it, or maybe we kind of try and talk ourselves out of it, or we try and lessen the success to make other people around us feel more comfortable. But these cards are really encouraging you to understand and appreciate that this is your moment, this is your time, and you really want to honour yourself and where you are in your life at the moment. So these are our cards for Aquarius, for the full moon in Pisces. I will see you again for the new moon in Libra. Hello to my fellow Pisceans. So it is now time for your 3-card reading. Obviously this is our full moon in Pisces, so whatever energy comes through will be amplified by that. And we are of course still in Virgo season. A couple of cards wanted to pop out already. So let's see what else we have for our 3rd card. Okay, all right, so we have the Fool, Justice, and the Ace of Swords. This card has wanted to come up a lot today, so obviously it is trying to tell us that we need to be communicating more. But anyway, let's start at the beginning. So we've got the Fool coming through. Got some of my hair there, lovely. So the Fool, of course, is all about fresh starts, new beginnings, and the full moon is a great time for this card to come up, because it's really encouraging us to move forward into the next period of the lunar cycle. We're thinking about where we want to go next. So fresh starts can sometimes seem a little bit scary, but this is really encouraging us to have that childlike energy about it. And if you're in a period of your life at the moment where you're kind of thinking like you would love a new start or a fresh beginning, but you're kind of just not sure where to go with it, the Fool actually kind of encourages us to think about what we loved as a child and to really kind of connect with that inner child and think, okay, well, what did I used to love as a child? What made me feel safe? What made me feel special? How did I really feel that I lost myself and felt really, really present as a child? And that can kind of lead you into thinking, well, this is what I used to love to do, maybe I should do it more, either as a hobby or as a business idea, but it can really encourage us to realign our path if we are feeling a little bit lost. And the Justice card is coming through to remind us that we will find that right way over the next couple of weeks, that we will find that greater equilibrium and that balance. So whether we are starting something fresh or just kind of hoping to find that fresh start, Justice is reminding us that actually we are going to be finding that balance and that right path as we are moving through. But we kind of need to trust ourselves and know that we will have to be a bit kind of courageous, take a step into the unknown, but that however we're going to be moving forward, we're going to be showing up in the best way possible for ourselves and also for the people closest to us as well. And then when we come to the Ace of Swords, this is reminding us to take stock of how we are communicating. So this is not necessarily about just communicating with other people, but it's also about communicating our own needs. So maybe we're feeling a bit stuck in a rut, we want to kind of have a fresh start or kind of start over, or at least take a chance on something new, but we're not quite sure how to vocalize it to those around us, or even sometimes to ourselves. It can sometimes feel a bit of a panicky situation when you realize that you're not exactly where you want to be in life and you're kind of not sure how to take those next steps. But the energy of Justice and the energy of Libra, that kind of air energy that's coming in with these last two cards, is really encouraging us to look at things from a mental perspective, so not just from the heart. We want to make sure that the mental, the intuition kind of dreaminess of the Pisces full moon is connecting with these more airy elements as well. We want to really be able to communicate that and translate that into something in the more physical world, because it's really difficult to have an idea of what you want to do. You kind of want to try something new or do something a bit different, but that won't happen unless you're actually willing to take those first steps, and more often than not that will involve speaking to other people about it. It doesn't mean that they have to know everything, but it means that you're going to have to communicate that need in some way. And then let's see what goddess card we have. We have the goddess of Persephone. Now Persephone obviously is all about, it says here, explore your inner darkness, purge what you no longer need, be still. And I think that's really interesting when we see this with these other cards, because sometimes when we are so keen to get started on something new or to start something new, or really that kind of energy where we really want to just do something different, try something new, actually having that moment of stillness inside of ourselves can really help us to then feel our way forward as to what will work better in the long run, and actually help us to find the balance that we are looking for overall. So over these next couple of weeks, I would encourage you to maybe try something new, a new hobby. If you are wanting to make that big fresh start, the cards are definitely supporting you in that endeavour, but that you also want to be wary of how you are communicating those needs to those around you and also to yourself. Check in with yourself, have those moments of stillness. Is this really what I want? If I want to try something new, okay, well, how am I going to achieve that? How am I going to get started? And how is this going to make me feel? Because ultimately we are all looking to obtain a sense of balance, because that is where that sense of alignment comes from. And we talk a lot obviously in the spiritual community about manifesting, but you cannot manifest anything if you are not living authentically and in alignment with yourself. So we really want to watch out for that over the next couple of weeks. But these are our cards for the full moon in Pisces for my fellow Pisceans, and I will see you next for the new moon in Libra.